It's Friday, July 11th. In the headlines, $80 million expansion for Kingston Freeport terminal launched to boost cargo capacity. National Water Commission begins a major pipeline installation in sections of St. Andrew. Regionally, Antigua and Barbuda's Attorney General calls for region to adopt high-tech approaches in crime fighting. And in sports, Jamaican sprinters Kishane Thompson and Akira Nugent win big at Eugene Diamond League meet. This is the weekend news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Operations at the Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited, KFTL, are set for a major boost with the launch of the Westlands Expansion Project, an $80 million investment aimed at easing congestion, increasing cargo capacity, and reinforcing Jamaica's position as a key player in global trade. The expansion, covering an additional 15 hectares, is a collaborative initiative between the Port Authority of Jamaica, KFTL, and CMA Terminals Holding. Danita Rodney tells us more.
It will include new container storage areas, upgraded port security, and an automated cargo gate system, all designed to modernize operations and respond to a 58% surge in cargo volume since 2016. Speaking at Thursday's launch ceremony, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness described the project as a strategic response to shifting global shipping patterns, reinforcing Jamaica's long-term vision to become a premier transshipment hub in the Caribbean and the Americas.
That vision was grounded in Jamaica's unique geographic location, the underutilized potential of our deep water harbor, and the investments that had already been made. But it was also a deliberate effort to create a new engine of growth in shipping and logistics, one that would generate jobs, attract international capital, and build resilience into our economy.
Phase 1 of the project will focus on preparing the land, including soil strengthening, improving drainage systems to mitigate flooding, and upgrading security infrastructure.
Without adequate land to grow and evolve, even the most efficient ports can become landlocked and uncompetitive. And this is why the second component of our overall strategy is the expansion of the footprint of the port. The Westlands project will add essential acreage to KFTL, allowing for expanded cargo storage with new berth facilities and the introduction of a modern, automated gate system for domestic cargo.
Prime Minister Holness also reiterated the government's commitment to broader infrastructure upgrades tied to port expansion, including the relocation of Tinsapen Aerodrome to Normal Manley International Airport,
and the land transferred for further port development. The Airports Authority of Jamaica has completed the feasibility analysis and has been working with the Port Authority and the National Works Agency to bring the project to fruition. To facilitate the integration of the land into the port operations, the Marcus Garvey Boulevard is to be rerouted to the north of Tinsapen. The realignment and reconfiguration of the road will eliminate bottlenecks in the traffic flow between Portmore and Kingston, specifically downtown Kingston.
Meanwhile, President and the CEO of Port Authority of Jamaica, Professor Gordon Shirley, hailed the project as a critical opportunity to enhance Kingston's competitiveness in the global logistics arena.
Cargo movement has grown from 859,000 in 2016 to 1.4 billion moves in 2024, an increase of over 58%. Berth productivity now stands at 25 moves per hour, and crane productivity exceeds 80 berth moves per hour, meeting and exceeding the global benchmarks.
The Westlands expansion is the latest in a series of major investments at KFTL. Previous upgrades have included the installation of LED lighting for improved safety, new ship-to-shore cranes, and the imminent arrival of 14 hybrid straddle carriers, all of which position the terminal to accommodate the largest vessels transiting the Panama Canal. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denida Rodney.
The government has significantly reduced the construction time for homes built under the new social housing program, with some units now being completed in as little as 5 weeks. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcement during a contract signing and groundbreaking ceremony for the Hibiscus development held in St. Andrew this week. The Prime Minister says this is a major achievement in improving efficiency. He explains, however, in the case of this recipient, Mr. Bellerose and family, there were complications in the planning process.
So we had to be very creative in how we designed on the very small plot of land to accommodate all the families that are there, and at the same time have proper sewage disposal. The time allotted for construction is 6 months. I've said to the contractor that we can do it in quicker time. So I'm going to charge him to get it done in 3 months. Or no resistance to that? Well, there you go.
He notes, however, that despite the faster building time, there are still challenges that may delay the overall delivery of homes.
One of the challenges we face in these communities is that many of the properties are not titled. Some of them, the owners have migrated, and different persons have been occupying the lands over time, and so they are not regularized. So it takes some time to establish ownership for the land.
The NSHP is part of the government's broader effort to improve living conditions for vulnerable Jamaicans by providing safe and affordable housing. The National Water Commission has announced the commencement of pipe-laying works in several communities across St. Andrew, following the necessary approvals. The affected areas include Wellington Drive, Monroe Road, Ottawa Avenue, and Canberra Crescent. The NWC says the project involves the installation of potable water and sewage pipelines, along with associated infrastructure upgrades. Residents and commuters should expect temporary road closures, detours, and limited access along the impacted corridors throughout the duration of the works. The project is expected to be completed by August 31, 2025. The NWC is urging motorists and pedestrians to adhere to all posted signs and follow the instructions of on-site work crews to ensure safety. Taxpayers, take note. Big changes are coming to how you pay your taxes. Starting September 1, 2025, Tax Administration Jamaica will no longer accept checks as a method of payment, except in 2 specific cases. 1, if the check is issued by a government ministry, department, or public body. And 2, if it's a manager's check issued by a local commercial bank regulated by the Bank of Jamaica. TAJ says the move is part of efforts to modernize its operations, improve security, and reduce the risks linked to check payments. Taxpayers are being encouraged to switch to digital options. These include logging on to www.jamaicatax.gov.jm to pay by credit or debit card, using direct funds transfer, or going through NCB Online or Scotia Online. TAJ says it's committed to making the transition as smooth as possible. For help with any of the new payment methods, you can call their customer care center at 888-TAX-HELP. That's 888-829-4357. Or send an email to taxhelp@taj.gov.jm. For more information, visit jamaicatax.gov.jm. TAJ says this is all part of changing the way they do business to better serve you. Information is right at your fingertips. It informs and educates in real time with the rise of misinformation and unverified sources, though. Our reporter Chanel Matthews went into the streets to ask members of the public their thoughts on the news they see online.
I am Chanel Matthews and this is Unfiltered. In today's digital world, news travels fast. Do you trust the news you see online?
Some form of news, then if they're coming from credible sources, of course, that can be trusted, such as your print media and your digital media that comes from credible newspaper sources that have been around for a while. But not all sources of the media or all information is accurate, so you have to get them from credible sources.
Put it like this, it's easier for people to run with or trust when the source is coming from somebody that they know is credible. So news is everywhere and everybody's online, but once it's coming from somebody that they know is trustworthy, then they can say yes. They can say yes.
It depends on the source. So especially we're in a time of AI now, you have to be careful. So I would say to anyone, when they're looking for news online, always think about the source. So places like GIS, PBCJ, even the private media, TVJ, CVM, always look for the source before you start to believe what you're hearing or seeing.
Not always, it depends on the source really and truly. So if it's like, regular social media content posters, I'm not sure if their information is factual. So I tend to go towards like reputable news sources like PBCJ, TVJ, CVM, so forth.
I don't trust any news I see online unless it's like a formidable or a proper source, because usually artificial intelligence actually plays a part in online news. Most days you're gonna say, oh, this is happening in this area of the world, but nothing actually goes up because artificial intelligence is being used to say that happened. You see me? So I don't really trust news I see online at all.
It depends on where you get the information from. So for me personally, when it comes to information from the internet, it would be from some trusted sources. So say news outlets like CNN and so BBC, or from government institutions. So any website you see like .org or .edu, or say the abbreviation of a country, one of those.
Time now for the business report.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. The local real estate market is set to see 2 new business models operate in Jamaica. Different Properties Limited, led by developer Gary Matalon, is set to update the short-term rental market. The company's innovation lies in its dual structure. On the development side, different builds and sells units to investors at accessible price point. Each unit is then leased back and operated under centralized hotel-grade management, removing the day-to-day burden from owners while preserving a consistent guest experience. Matalan states, "We're embracing compliance, not avoiding it. Our model includes industry best practices, safety standards, full tax reporting, Jamaica Tourist Board registration, and Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association membership. This aligns with where Jamaica is heading: more transparency, better regulation, and smarter investment." Another real estate opportunity is in the renovation market. Kintyre Holdings Limited, through its real estate subsidiary, Parallel Real Estate Ventures, has entered a strategic partnership to deliver renovation services across residential, commercial, and specialty projects throughout Jamaica. This initiative is led through Parallel Reno, the renovations and interior division of the publicly traded company. For the trading period ending July 10, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Microfinance firm Lasco Financial Services Limited, with 1,414,732 units, representing 13.42% of market sales volume. Investment firm Sagicor Select Funds Limited, Manufacturing and Distribution, with 1,241,670 units traded, representing 11.78% of market sales volume. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited, with 1,227,401 units traded, representing 11.64% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On July 10, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $58.12 million purchased and US $46.29 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.73 per dollar, selling the US at $161.18 and buying the US at $159.45. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $5.31 per transaction, with selling at $118.51 and buying at $113.20. The British pound yielded Forex traders $7.45 in profit, with selling at $218.69 and buying at $211.24. For our credit report tip of the day, before you build or buy, there's groundwork to fund, and your credit score plays a major role. From paying land surveyors to securing architectural drawings and getting government approvals, these early steps require upfront cash or credit. The stronger your credit score, the easier it is to access affordable financing options so you can take action without delays or financial strain. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial step is a decision towards your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, Antigua and Barbuda's Attorney General and Public Safety Minister, Sir Stedroy Benjamin, is urging regional leaders to incorporate high-tech approaches in tackling the scourge of crime. Sir Stedroy says the region should consider such tools as facial recognition as it faces evolving threats. He was speaking at a regional symposium hosted in Antigua and Barbuda this week on tackling cyber crimes. ABS News' Shanikisha Francis reports.
Antigua and Barbuda's Attorney General, the Honorable Sir Stedroy Benjamin, is calling for a tech-driven shift in crime fighting across the Caribbean. Speaking at the 2025 Caribbean Law Enforcement Leaders Symposium, he urged the region to embrace modern policing tools.
Modern tools must be exploited and used. Technologies like facial recognition, with appropriate legal safeguards, of course, drone surveillance for border patrols, and GIS mapping of crime hotspots can be game changers in our small geographic spaces.
The Attorney General, who is also Public Safety Minister, emphasized that with limited manpower and budgets, the Caribbean must rely on smarter strategies.
We must strengthen intelligence-led policing. In our region, intelligence is our most present resource. Regrettably, we do not have endless manpower or budgets. We must ensure that every operation is driven by precise, timely intelligence. And in this regard, there should be regional intelligence sharing.
With cybercrime and ransomware attacks on the rise, Sir Stead Roy also urges regional governments to secure their systems.
We need trained digital forensics labs capable of extracting, preserving, and analyzing digital evidence, from mobile phones seized in gang raids, Mr. Commissioner, to financial data in fraud investigations, Mr. ONDCP.
The AG's remarks set a bold tone for regional cooperation and modernization as law enforcement across the Caribbean faces rising digital and transnational threats.
To protect our communities and preserve the stability essential for economic growth and tourism, we must think and we must act.
Shanakisha Francis, ABS News.
Regional sea travel, long a sore point for Caribbean citizens, surged to the forefront of the CARICOM summit as outgoing chair Mia Motley urged a bold call for action to fix the region's broken sea transport system. Speaking at the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Montego Bay, she pointed to steps being taken by some member states to address long-standing transportation issues. The details in this report.
Outgoing Caribbean Community CARICOM Chair Prime Minister Mia Motley of Barbados has strongly urged regional heads of government to prioritize sea travel as a more economically viable option for both visitor and cargo movement. For decades, the Caribbean bloc has contended with prohibitively high costs and complex logistical hurdles concerning inter-island transportation of goods and people. Prime Minister Motley revealed that 2 CARICOM member states are currently exploring the acquisition of cargo aircraft to address the region's urgent logistics challenges. She delivered these remarks during the opening ceremony of the 49th regular meeting of CARICOM Heads of Government at the Montego Bay Convention Center on Sunday.
If we cannot open up greater supply routes, if we can increase our domestic production, cognizant, however, that we are constantly at risk of the climate crisis, decimating that which we are trying to do in terms of open field agriculture, then we can begin to recognize that we do have the capacity to feed ourselves more. The bottom line is, however, that there are still too many gaps. And the major issue of logistics, I am happy to report that there are at least 2 CARICOM member states that are now in the process of looking to acquire cargo planes to help us overcome the very difficult prospect of the movement of goods within this region.
Furthermore, Prime Minister Motley underscored the region's historical neglect of maritime connectivity in favor of expensive air travel, advocating for member states to embrace regional ferry services to alleviate logistical difficulties.
In sports, we speed off with athletics. Olympic silver medalist Kishane Thompson and national sprint hurdles record holder Akira Nugent delivered standout performances for Jamaica at the Eugene Diamond League meet last week, claiming victories in their respective events. Thompson, facing a high-caliber field in the men's 100 meters, powered to the finish in 9.85 seconds to take the win. Compatriot Akeem Blake finished 5th with 10.03 seconds. Meanwhile, Nugent continued her impressive season on the international circuit, clocking 12.32 seconds to secure victory in the women's 100 meters hurdles, further cementing her status as one of the world's top sprint hurdlers. In field events, national discus champion Ralford Mullings took second place in the men's discus with a best throw of 68.98 meters, achieved in the 5th round. Olympic champion Roger Stoner finished 4th with a mark of 65.62 meters. Elsewhere on the track, national 100 meters champion Tina Clayton placed 4th in the women's 100 meters, stopping the clock at 11.02 seconds. The event was won by Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who took her hot streak with a commanding 10.75 seconds finish. In cricket news, as the West Indies gear up for the historic first day-night test match at Sabina Park, Jamaican batter Brandon King is embracing the moment with pride and determination. The occasion marks not only the debut of pink ball test cricket in Jamaica, but also King's first appearance in such a format on home soil.
29-year-old Brandon King has impressed in his brief red ball career so far, and as he prepares for just his 3rd test, he's looking to build on what he's learned in the previous matches in Grenada and Barbados.
In terms of carrying from the last game, I just want to have, consistency of approach. The formula that I used to go out there and approach my batting in the last game, I just want to come in this game and do the same and see what happens.
Speaking ahead of the match, King relished the opportunity.
Yeah, obviously it's a great feeling, to play at home. I've played a few white ball games at home before and it felt incredible. So, this being the first, I think, day-night test match in Sabina, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Facing the #1 ranked team in the world under lights will be no easy task. Australia, the West Indies' formidable opponents, are the most experienced team in the pink ball format. But King welcomes the challenge.
Obviously, you want to play against the best. In any arena that you're in, you want to compete against the best and see where you stand. So I'm looking forward to it. They've played the most pink ball games, so they're very experienced. So it will be a good challenge.
The West Indies have shown flashes of brilliance throughout the series, but have yet to string together a full performance across 5 days. For King, closing that gap comes down to consistency.
Yeah, I think just a little bit, of consistency throughout the test match. Obviously, if you look at the last 2 games, we've been competing with them up to a certain point, and then fall away a little bit. But that's, the reality is we're playing against the #1 team in the world. So for us to win or to be, to challenge for a win, we need to be consistent in all aspects of the game right through till the end. So we're just looking to improve on those little 1%ers to see if we can carry it through this time.
As for the conditions at Sabina Park, King is hopeful the pitch will offer a fair contest between bat and ball.
And Sabina Park is usually, a decent wicket. It's usually a balanced wicket. Something for the bowlers, something for the batters. And that's what you want. You want a wicket that, it's competitive on both ends. So I'm expecting it to be a decent wicket. Obviously the previous 2 were very challenging. You could even say a little bit bowler friendly. But I'm expecting a more balanced wicket and hopefully, it will be a good game.
With the home crowd behind him, Brandon King is ready to step into the twilight and shine on his biggest stage yet.
And that's it for the weekend news. Have a pleasant weekend.